Hey, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of What's New at IBM. As always, I'm your host, PJ Hagerty, and today I'm talking to JJ Asghar, one of IBM's most eminent developer advocates. JJ, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what's going on.
Hey, thanks, PJ. Yeah, hi, I'm JJ Asghar. I'm a developer advocate, as you said. I don't know what that means anymore either. That was supposed to be a joke. There you go. I'm here to talk about some IBM Cloud stuff and what's happening over in the space because it's rapidly changing, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, for me, this is kind of a going home moment because I kind of started my code career, well, not my code career, but kind of my back end career working for a cloud company. So like where cloud is now compared to where it was 15, 20 years ago is a wildly different place. Where do
Very
you
true.
see like IBM Cloud, like where does it fit in the market in the world today?
Yeah, great question. So one of the best parts about IBM Cloud is that we are targeted at the Fortune 50 companies.
Hmm.
And we are targeted at the companies that need strong production grade infrastructures that are easily implemented inside of very complex infrastructures. Um, the short answer is we love our OpenShift, right? Because there's a small company called Red Hat that we might have um,
I
decided to
think we
become
had
part
to,
of our
yeah, it
family.
has something to
Yeah,
do with that. We were the blue
something like
hats, they
that.
were the red hats.
There you go. We're all just purple hats now. Something like
Yeah,
that. I don't know, but I don't know. Let's go with it.
well,
Um,
we'll work with it. We'll work with it.
We'll work with it. There we go. But yeah, no. So we love our OpenShift. We love our cloud native ecosystem. But there, you need our competitors have play different roles for different companies. We have recognized that our cloud is straight up great for the Fortune 50 because they normally have really complex infrastructures that require a lot of overhead to integrate with. And we have the expertise to make sure that it works in their spaces.
Right. And I think one of the things we lean into a lot is the idea of hybrid cloud.
Yeah.
I know, like a lot of the people that you're referring to, our competitors, are very public cloud. They're very much put everything out there. We control it. You're sharing instances, you're sharing server space, rack space, you're sharing Docker images. We want you to kind of have like a hybrid situation where it's a little bit here, a little bit there. Um, Try to get you on Z if we can, especially with your
Yeah.
AI stuff. But it's kind of a different take than, you know, click one button and launch into a server rack somewhere and you don't really know where it is.
To yes and that straight up, like security and privacy is a legitimate problem, right? So if you notice, the cloud as general has kind of swung back and forth. I mean, every technology has a pendulum that goes one way or the other. Like everyone needs to go to cloud, everyone needs to go back to the rack. Well, we've realized as a market, um, you know, if you send it out to a cloud server or an S3 bucket or whatever, and you don't know where that is, if you're an international company or a government agency, hint, hint, and you're sending it to the wrong country, uh, that could be some real problems,
It could be
right?
slightly problematic, just a little.
Exactly. So we've built our clouds to fit in all these different internet. I mean, it's called IBM for a reason, right? International business machines that we can fit in really focused places that we can talk to the largest entities on the planet and provide the thing that they need. That, okay, admittedly, it's not like cool for a lot of our stuff, but it's consistent, and
Right.
it's the red Solo cups of the internet, right? Somebody makes a lot of money off those cups, but they're everywhere, but they're not cool. But man, they get the job done.
They are functional. That's the point.
Exactly,
Well,
exactly.
it's funny you should say that because one of the things that I was talking about recently with one of our other guests was one of the things that we focus on when it comes to AI is the guardrails and the
Yeah,
governance. And so yeah, it might not be super hot, sexy, cool, but what it is safe.
exactly.
And I feel like that's like one of the things that, you know, we get dinged for sometimes.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, IBM's a little bit slower on the uptake. IBM's a little bit, and it's really more because we're focused on the idea of safety.
Yep. So to keep running with this, the whole okay, we all know. I don't know if we're going to talk about the date or not, but relatively recently there was something came out called DeepSeek, right?
Right.
That hit the market really fast. Everyone was like, "What is this? This is awesome." Well, if you didn't know, turns out exactly what DeepSeek had done, IBM had done the exact same thing a couple months ahead or earlier on. but we just didn't hit the market correctly at the time. So I like to use the joke now. You know that old saying, you never get fired for buying IBM?
Exactly.
Well, now we have an AI model that can rival DeepSeek that's already been in the market that isn't supported by China.
Right.
When you talk to your business partners, do you want them to send their data to China, or do you think they could come to IBM instead?
Yeah, especially when you're talking about, government data, financial data, all that kind of stuff. Like, there's no way.
Yep.
There's no way.
The
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So to reiterate on that, with the whole Granite model, which I'm talking about, there turns out IBM Cloud has a way for us to be able to, which is brand new, ish, which is called the watsonx platform. So we talked about watsonx probably a couple times already on this show, but there's a portion of it that I want to focus in on, which is the InstructLab portion of it. So one of the challenges of AI models is models only know up to the point where they know. I know that sounds a little redundant, but it's important to really grasp that because it needs new knowledge, right? It only knows up to the date that it was trained. It can't know anything in the future. And unfortunately, things change, as we know as PJ. Things change.
Things tend to roll around. Yeah.
Exactly. So you need to be able to add new knowledge to it. Well, luckily, right now I believe it is in open beta. You can get your hands on it with just a form or two. Well, I'll get PJ. You're going to add this to the show notes.
I will add it to the show notes. Yeah.
There you go. You can put a request in, and you can actually get the fine tuning system for adding new knowledge or new skills using the InstructLab workflow into it relatively cheaply, which is one of the best parts about it because we're trying to get people to use it. It takes the Granite model, which you can add with just a simple taxonomy. And then you basically click 3 buttons over a couple days because it takes a couple days to do the training and all that. And then you come out with some safe tensors in a cost bucket where you're out like gangbusters. It's great.
Exactly.
And it works.
Which is funny because I mean back in the day, like you could get on cloud fairly quickly, but if you wanted to get involved in LM, you were talking weeks to months.
Exactly.
And to establish the fact, is this a duck or is this not a duck? The speed, the agility of the large language models now is unbelievable. And a thing like InstructLab allows you to really figure out how to leverage that. And I mean, there's other things you can do RAG or you can do other, and those are great stopgaps. But really teaching the model what you need it to know, keeping it up to date is where the value is.
Absolutely. And one of the interesting conversations I have as a developer advocate is I spend more time in the trenches with the nerds, if you will. They ask, they're like, JJ, why are you giving all these models out for free? Like, there's a whole family of Granite models.
Oh, yeah.
And the short answer is the way at least I see it, and this is me representing what I believe we are doing in the market here, is we're giving out all these models that are 85% of what ChatGPT or our major competitors are that can run locally on your laptop and et cetera, et cetera. All that nice sales pitch that we can throw another way to you. But the idea is we're giving away that part of the farm for free because we expect you to be able to get pretty far with it. But then there's a build versus buy conversation, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can build all this RAG stuff. You can build all this agentic workflow. You can do all of this work that you need to do. You can build the Guardian process, or you can just come to watsonx. And then it's already there with watsonx where you are already used to the model that does everything in the way you're expecting it to. And you can just slot in the portions that you don't want to spend the time to build using watsonx.
And you can do it piecemeal too. You can start with saying like, okay, great. So I have this on watsonx. Now, you know what? Maybe it is time for some governance. Now I'm going to add the watsonx governance stuff in. Cool. Now you don't like, it's not when you talk about build versus buy, it's like, great, we build, get 85% of the way. The next 5% is one thing that we have to offer at IBM. And there's another, 5%, another 5%. And the idea is we want to get you there. We want to get you there safely. We want to get you there comfortably. We want to get you there with a piece of software that you understand.
And with the enterprise bulletproofness, if that's a word, that you want for your business. Yeah, there you go. That you want for your business, right? Like you don't want to just be running this on something you can't trust, because the idea is that your AI models and this whole ecosystem is going to be a linchpin for your next 5-6 years of you moving down this path. And you need to be able to trust that platform. And who better to trust than IBM?
Exactly. Those who've been here since the beginning.
Exactly. Exactly.
So if someone wants to get involved in InstructLab or get started in InstructLab, I know you mentioned the beta. What's the
Yeah.
best way to do it?
So that's actually a great question. There's a couple different angles to it. I would strongly suggest, first of all, get into the watsonx platform, because InstructLab is only a portion of it, right? Like the fine tuning, and we can go deep into that, but we're not going to, because, I know people have other things to do than just hear us yap on for a little while here. But
It's what we do for a living, JJ.
Oh, you're killing me here. Anyway, the idea is you start with InstructLab.ai. Believe it or not, don't go. Or actually, 3 websites: IBM.com/Granite, InstructLab.ai, and then obviously just go to the cloud.ibm.com, and I think it's literally /InstructLab, and start playing around with that ecosystem. There's a free tier that you can already get your hands on, and there's good documentation. Admittedly, it can always be better, right? And there's a handful of videos out there too, that you can probably find on YouTube relatively quickly. And if this has tickled your brain at all, it's very easy to find people in this space. Hell, my email address is literally awesome@ibm.com. Yes, it really is.
And everyone at IBM is jealous of that.
Yes, it is true. It is true. It's so funny. You are more than welcome to reach out to me directly, and I will point you in the correct direction you need to go. I want you to be successful. If you were listening and have gotten to the point where you've heard me say these words, yes, I really want you to be successful, and I will direct you in the correct path to get to where you need to be.
That's fantastic. JJ, thank you so much for taking the time today to come and talk to us about InstructLab and Cloud and Granite and AI. I want to get you on the show again, hopefully soon. And for everyone who's listening, thank you for listening.
Thank you.